What's up guys, edrone here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Hawkeye Firefly mini action camera. Stay tuned. This is the Firefly, the Hawkeye Firefly mini action camera, and basically it is a miniature box style camera that you could put on your quadcopters or any of your RC products and get HD footage. Now we're going to take a look at what comes in the package here. Obviously the top is the camera, and underneath is all the accessories. So they do give you some nice accessories, a couple of GoPro style mounts, the instruction booklet here, which looks to be in English and in Chinese. There you go. The wonderful thing about this camera is the price. This camera to date is around $25 to $27 depending on where you find it. So this is really exciting. And here's your other GoPro mount here. And you also get cable here that you can plug into a TV, and it also has your charging cable, which is a micro HDMI, and quite a good length of cord as well. And there's the micro HDMI cord there. Taking a look at the actual camera now, you see it comes in a angled mount here, which you can mount directly on your quadcopter, your drone, or your RC product, and it gives you about a 25 to 30 degree angle. And you can also see that you can have access to all your buttons, and underneath there is a slot where you can put the GoPro style mount to actually use it as a tripod. And it is locked very securely in the mount. You have to move the side plate over just a little bit with your finger, and it slides right out. But I like that it's very secure, and once you kind of snap it in, so you know if you have like a hard crash or if you drop it, it should not eject from the mount. Now we're taking a look at this. We can see we got our micro SD card slot here, and we also have our micro HDMI charging port. Now this camera shoots 1080p at 30 frames a second. Here's the power button here, and there's the mode button to change from 1080p at 30 frames a second or 720p at 30 frames a second. Micro slot here has a little bit of a groove, so you can get your finger to get the card out. It is not a spring type micro SD card slot. It just pushes in and stays in place. There's your mount here, and it is a plastic mount. It is not 3D printed. So it's definitely a little bit stiffer than your 3D mount. But here you can see the GoPro mount. It just snaps in the bottom here, and you can actually use this as like a tripod or like a head cam if you want to mount it to your head to do like a head cam. But yeah, it slides right in, and basically once you slide the camera in, the top left corner actually locks the camera into place. You'll see, you hear it click there. The top left corner locks it right into place, and you cannot push it out. You have to move that little top left corner and then push it out. So it kind of locks it in, which is really nice. And also, if we take a look at the micro SD card slot, it actually blocks it so the card cannot be ejected. So that's a good feature there as well. Now I got it mounted on the quad, and all I used was 2 zip ties and a piece of it's basically foam with a sticky, one side sticky, and I put the foam underneath of it because I want to try to minimize the vibrations that the camera and the mount would get from the frame, and hopefully the foam will help with that, kind of dampen some of those vibrations so we don't get as much jello in the footage. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this guy for a flight and show you some HD footage. Yeah, I'm gonna tear it up one more time.
Because it's using the built-in mic, you got a semi-close. I like to kind of frame it.
And I went ahead and turned the audio way down, just because it's a very high-pitched squealing sound. And man, did I get a ton of jello, and I think it's because of the foam. I'm going to try to fly without the foam and see if that makes any difference, but man, was I getting a ton of jello. The colors look great, and the 30 frames a second is a little slow for something this high paced and this fast, but you know, I definitely think it's definitely usable footage. It's just the jello. So I'm wondering if maybe the foam I put was just too much foam, because it was kind of a thicker foam, and maybe I was getting a little bit more motion out of the mount than if I were just to affix it to the quad without the foam. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera on the drone without the foam and do another flight, and we'll take a look and see if the jello improves or if it gets worse. But you can see here, the jello is just awful. It's terrible, and I'm really upset because, you know, I really was looking forward to this footage. We were flying in an area that was new to me, and there was a lot of nice sights to see. And man, this jello just kind of ruins the footage. But I don't want to say that the camera, this was the camera's fault. I think I just put too much foam underneath of it, and that might have caused all this jello. So we're gonna go ahead and show the flight footage here without the foam and see if the jello improves. All right, here we have removed the foam underneath of the camera, and I'm still getting jello. However, I feel that it's probably mostly due to the stock mount. The stock mount is a hard plastic, which definitely will transmit vibrations into the actual camera. Also, the zip ties I used were not the greatest. So while it has helped a little bit with the jello, my good pal Chris Justice, MD95 TSI, he is working on 3D printing me a mount that will be made of a more flexible material, and then that with some heavier zip ties, I think we can definitely eliminate a lot more of the jello with that setup. But I do like the camera, minus the jello right now, but I think we can definitely get this fixed with a TPU mount and some stronger zip ties. But I mean, for $25 to $27 to get HD footage, I mean, you can't go wrong. And if we get this jello fixed out, I'm going to be really, really happy. And I'm pretty sure the TPU mount will get rid of that, because as you know, the TPU is a more flexible material. It can absorb a lot more of the vibrations, and not actually you know, pass the vibrations through to the camera like a hard plastic, the stock case will. I think the stock case is good for setting up a tripod mount or putting it on your head for like a head cam, but as far as flying the stock mount on the quad, probably not the greatest idea if you're trying to eliminate jello. But anyway, enjoy the rest of this flight, and I'll see you guys on the next one. The link will be in the description for this camera, and I also put a couple links down there for the Thingiverse 3D printed, if you want to 3D print yourself a mount. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. Edrone out.